Bigger worms, richer soil, the rice secret that supercharges your garden soil. Imagine stepping into your garden and finding soil so rich, loose and alive that your plants practically grow themselves. Imagine uncovering handfuls of plump earthworms wriggling happily through the beds, leaving behind castings that act like slow-release fertilizer. Now here's the twist. The secret to unlocking this underground magic may already be sitting in your kitchen. It isn't a pricey soil amendment or a rare organic blend, it's rice. Yes, that everyday pantry staple that feeds millions of people can also feed your soil, and when used the right way, it turns average beds into thriving, worm-filled ecosystems. Healthy soil is the foundation of every successful garden, and worms are the engineers that keep it alive. But even the best worms need the right fuel. Today, I'll walk you through how rice can become the game-changing ingredient your soil has been waiting for. By the end, you'll not only understand why it works, but exactly how to use it in a way that maximizes benefits while avoiding common mistakes. Every gardener has heard the saying, "Take care of your soil, and it will take care of your plants." Earthworms are central to that truth. These tireless underground workers spend their lives burrowing, eating, and enriching the soil in ways no tool or fertilizer can replicate. As worms consume decomposing organic matter, they grind it in their gizzards and excrete it as castings. Those castings are dense packages of plant-ready nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Beyond that, worm tunnels create channels that allow roots to stretch deeper, while air and water flow freely through the soil. Studies show that active worm populations can boost crop yields by as much as 25%. That's not a small improvement. It's the difference between plants that merely survive and plants that flourish with vigor. But here's the challenge. Worms don't multiply in poor soil, and they won't thrive without a steady source of food. At first glance, rice seems too ordinary to matter in the garden, but when you look closer at what worms and microbes crave, it makes perfect sense. Rice is rich in starch, a carbohydrate that breaks down into simple sugars. Microbes in the soil thrive on those sugars, and when they multiply, worms come running. Think of it as a chain reaction. Rice feeds the microbes. The microbes explode in numbers. Worms are then drawn to the microbial activity surrounding the rice. Once there, they feed more efficiently, reproduce faster, and grow larger. Bigger worms mean more tunnels, more castings, and ultimately richer soil. Rice isn't feeding the worms directly, it's setting the table for them by creating a microbial buffet. In other words, rice is the spark that gets the soil party started. Knowing that rice works is one thing. Knowing how to use it properly is where the real magic happens. If you toss it on the soil without care, you may create problems instead of benefits. Technique matters, and here are the most effective methods gardeners can use. Cooked rice for fast action. If you want to see quick results, cooked rice is your best bet. Plain, unsalted, and oil-free rice decomposes quickly, making it a fast feast for microbes. To apply, spread about 1 cup of cooked rice over a square foot of garden bed. Cover it with at least 2 inches of compost, mulch, or loose soil to keep pests away. Within 3 to 5 days, you'll notice worm clusters around that area. Raw rice for slow release. Uncooked rice takes longer to break down, but that's not a drawback. It simply means a steady release of food over time. For this method, use half a cup of broken or crushed rice per square foot. Mix it into the top 3 inches of soil, or bury it lightly in your compost pile. Over weeks, it will slowly feed microbes, attracting worms steadily without overwhelming the system. Rice water for gentle nourishment. This is perhaps the simplest way to harness rice for your soil. The cloudy rinse water left after washing rice is loaded with starch and nutrients. Dilute 1 cup of rice rinse water with 3 cups of plain water, and pour it directly around your plants or onto your compost pile. This instantly hydrates microbes and keeps the soil moist, both things worms love. Repeat once every 2 weeks during the growing season for consistent benefits. Worm bin boost. If you keep a worm bin, rice can supercharge it. Add half a cup of soaked or cooked rice, mixing it with shredded cardboard or dried leaves. This balances moisture and keeps the bin from going sour. Avoid dumping large amounts all at once, as too much rice ferments quickly. A light sprinkle every week is all it takes to keep your worm colony thriving. As powerful as rice can be, it's important to use it with moderation and care. Too much rice piled in one place can ferment, leading to sour smells that attract pests instead of worms. Always cover rice with soil, mulch, or compost to keep things balanced and hidden from rodents or insects. In hot climates, rice breaks down fast, so use smaller amounts more frequently rather than one large addition. In colder regions, bury rice a little deeper, around 4 inches, so it decomposes steadily even when the surface is cool. These small adjustments keep the process smooth and in harmony with your garden's natural rhythm. When used properly, rice transforms the underground ecosystem. Worm populations grow larger, healthier, and more active. Soil becomes looser and easier for roots to penetrate. Castings enrich the bed with balanced nutrition, giving plants stronger growth, greener leaves, and better resistance to stress. It's like giving your garden a secret fertilizer factory that never shuts down. And because rice is so inexpensive and accessible, it becomes one of the simplest, most cost-effective ways to boost soil fertility. When I first tried rice in my garden, I wasn't convinced. My compost pile was already healthy and I figured rice couldn't add much. But one day, with leftover cooked rice on hand, I decided to bury a handful under the mulch in a raised bed. A week later, I pulled back the mulch and couldn't believe my eyes. Dozens of worms had gathered, wriggling in rich, dark soil. They looked healthier, fatter, and hungrier than ever. That one experiment changed everything. Now I make it a routine to add small amounts of rice every couple of weeks during the growing season. Every time the soil feels looser, the worm population grows, and my plants thrive with almost no extra fertilizer. The beauty of rice lies in its simplicity. It's something we all have in the kitchen, yet it holds the power to unlock healthier soil. Unlike synthetic fertilizers, rice works by feeding microbes and worms, the true foundation of fertility. By leaning into this natural cycle, we get healthier plants with less effort. Whether you're new to gardening or have decades of experience, this is a tool you can start using today. Bigger worms, richer soil, stronger plants, the results speak for themselves. At the heart of gardening is partnership. Between us and the soil, between microbes and worms, between roots and the ecosystem beneath. Rice is a simple but powerful way to honor that partnership. By feeding the soil, we invite nature to do what it does best. So the next time you cook rice, don't throw away the leftovers or the rinse water. Save some for your garden. Tuck it under mulch, mix it into compost, or pour it into your beds. Then step back and watch the transformation as worms multiply, soil softens, and plants flourish. If you found this soil secret valuable, make sure to subscribe to Soil and Crop Central and share this video with a fellow gardener. Together, let's keep uncovering the natural tricks that make gardening easier, richer, and more rewarding.